Hello everyone, good evening. Today is November 9th, another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Teachings. So guys, before I start, just want to let you know tomorrow I have another big webinar talking about risk management. I'm going to cover deep dive into risk management and risk reward and position sizing with options and stocks and the shares, scaling in, managing your trades. Tomorrow is my webinar. For those of who follow me, it's in the community. If you want to join the community, I will post the login links and discounts above in the comment section as well. So yes, feel free to join the community and join me in the webinar tomorrow. All right, let's move forward. So another decent day in the market. Today, most of the profits were made right in first 1 hour, and most of us were done, and then we had some decent trades. So today day was highlighted by Disney opening trade winner and AFRM winner and then DUOL winner. These three were big winners right at open for me personally. And then we also traded coin. We'll talk about how we were on top of the coin, how we were on the top of the semiconductor names, Tesla and SMCI, before they faded when the market, right before the Powell was coming up, how the market faded right around that time. We will discuss that, both coin and Tesla and NVDA, and we'll discuss the RBLX gap fill idea that I gave to the community. We'll look at some levels on IWM, how the short worked. Then we'll check some of the ideas from pre-market, not my personal trades, but how they panned out on APP, LYFT, BILL, AMC. And then in the end, we'll look at the market, what was happening with the market today and how we traded SPY and QQQ. We'll discuss all that. So before I start, let's look what have been we doing. As always, wake up early every morning. I do a market wrap, study everything, what's going in the market and the macro environment, geopolitical, I check everything. And then we look at who are speaking today, who the Fed speakers are today, and any macro events for the day. Then look at a bunch of news, like today there was a lot of news out, but we need to select few. So I go through all the news sources, and then finally my watch list is ready. And I selected Disney, AFRM, TWLO, BILL. That's my top 3-4 plays. APP,
HOG,
LIFT,
Harley
Artwork,
Davidson,
some other plays.
filing for an offering, size not disclosed, Hotel Oscar
then,
Golf,
of course, we had Apple,
HOG.
Microsoft, and all of our marketplace. That's how I split them. And then we were at our levels, right, guys? So every morning I make these levels. I really want to focus on the one level today, even though all the levels were right spot on. If you look at the Tesla, when it's broke my Tesla, my support and resistance pivot, it faded further. And similarly IWM, which we were short in the community, when it broke this pivot, it faded all day. Add these levels with EMA Clouds, you can trade on your own, make right decisions and risk reward. Today alone, IWM and Tesla puts were like many 100% for nice trades today. So very systematic day. No gambling, no gut feeling, just following the system. So here's the level sheet. You can go do your homework, compare these levels. If you have any question, ask me in comments, I will answer. So going back, so that was our watch list, and after that the plan for the day was ready. For Disney was bullish to neutral, AFRM, Twilio, Bill, APP, LYFT, DUOL, COT, and RBLX. So the plan was ready, guys. So the plan was ready. So plan was ready on everything, guys. So you can see NVDA and SMCI was also on our watch. And now the plan was ready. Now let's go into the individual names and look how we did. All right, guys. So what was the setup on Disney? So Disney was a gap and go setup, right? What was the plan? The plan was bullish to neutral versus 86.90. 86.90 was this level, right? And if that 86.90 failed, then it was a gap fill. But as soon as market opened, I saw the strength versus the EMA Clouds and the pre-market level right here. That's why I long the starter, right? If you were not in, you wait for a pullback to build a good position, or you can scale in. And then the breakout was 89. When it started to push, I added more into my position, and then we hit our breakout of 89. So you can see when I added, I shared with everyone that this is the long. And then it was all about managing the trade, right? and then slowly it went to 90.50s, and then we were holding, and I said everybody to log some here on initial push. Then our first target was 90, and then we went to 90. My next target, as you can see here, I said 90.40. So 90.40 was my next target, as I explained there. So as you see here, 88 calls went 100% in just first half 30 minutes. Then my 90.40 target hit. Then 90.80 was my next target. I left 1/3 size for hit. And then we were short of our 90.80 target by 10 cents.
TCON.
But we held the trend. I said no need to cut yet. The last piece hold because the 512 EMA Cloud trend is holding, the system is holding, the system is telling us to hold. And finally, when it break 512, I was all out. So nice trade, guys. 130% on the options, and then nice trade for us, almost $3 per share trade, and barely risking 30-40 cents, and we made almost $3. It was like one risk to 5-6 reward trade on the share side, and decent win on the option side. So beautiful trade, guys. It's like a repeatable setup. Those who attend my webinars, I have shown this again and again. Even everybody else who watched my previous YouTube videos or my teachings know this setup pretty A+ because of our EMA Cloud System, guys. Beautiful long winner. So the next one we are going to look at is AFRM, affirm, right? What was the pre-market plan? Bullish bias over 25. There was a breakout, guys. The breakout was over 25. Under 24, it can pull to 23.50, and then it can gap fill. So we were ready for whatever happens. And as soon as the market opened,
KODK.
starter long versus this level, EMA Clouds level, Ripster EMA Clouds, and then you can add over the breakout on the 25s. I was on the voice, I was guiding everyone, and it right away pushed to 26 affirm, boom time. And then we always lock on the first move. You lock, you add starter, you scale in, it pushes, you scale some out, right? Add risk, add more, average up, scale out, then watch what happens after 10 a.m. And there was a pullback candle at 10 a.m., but it was still over the 512 EMA Clouds, and then it was flag breaking, then it pushed to next level. So my target was 27.20, and again I was short 14 cents of my target. If you see, we hit the 27.20 at right around 10 a.m. and then and then after 10 a.m. it was when it broke this level, that was the warning to get out. I still had my small piece, but when this broke right here, then I was out. Remember, we were buying here, taking out here, last piece we took out here, right? So nice winner, decent winner on options, actually much better winner on options, but decent trade on the shares for the morning wins, guys. So these two trades were green. Let's go to the next one, and you can see my comments, not a hindsight, right as it goes. So next one is very interesting one. Very good earnings. Those who know my earning rules and those who learn and read, I share why the earnings was good, what was the reason, the growth of the stock, and so the very good earnings. And then we focus on our technicals. So what was the plan? Low volume in pre-market, but bullish bias versus 180. 180 was the initial risk, but when I saw the strength, that's when I said buy, watch pullbacks, risk is on 180. Doesn't matter you're buying 186, your risk is still 180, because at the end of the day, you risked 1 hour, you made over 2 hours, right? If you risked $5 or $6, by the time the stock hit 202, it was
TCON.
up. It was up almost $16, and you made 3 times your risk, actually 3 reward, right? So beautiful trade. And then I said we need to break out of 194, and then breakout. 200 was my target, 200 was my target, I met my target, and then of course it rejects on 200. And when this breakdown, then I exited, right? Exited with the profit overall, right? Started building the position, you know, 188, and then I got $12 per share of profit. And when I got out, but then I saw it recovering, and then I said, you know, making next leg, I'm looking to re-enter, and then I added with the profit money again, and then it pushed to 203, right? Because when it reclaimed, I added right back for the 200 break, and then I'm swinging some. So beautiful trade. You know, it was almost end of the day, it was a $17, you know, $15-16 shares trade per share, right? I did not trade options, but I think a lot of people in the community said they made 100-150% on the DUOL options if they were, you know. So let's look at our other play, the coin in the community. So even before the market open, I said Bitcoin plays are on the main watch, right? So main watch, I was talking about that it's a main watch, and then everybody was, community was on the coin, and right at the open the coin started to break out, right? So it started to break out, and then you know, my targets were 98 and 100, and then some call flow came as well, which I shared in the community. I also tweeted about that call flow, if I can show you, because that gives me added confidence, and that's when I joined coin as well. And even if you miss the morning move, still this was a good push. It was a good push, and even on those option strikes, it hit good. So let me show you, when did I say that? So I said that at 20 minutes after open, when the stock was at 95 bucks, that's when I said, so that's when I said, let me see. Yeah, so you can see 953. I said coin 100 calls are coming in. 953 was when I said it, and if after that, even after that, it pushed to 100. I was expecting 100, but we were 18 cents short, right? 100 calls coming in. I mentioned here as well in my community, the target was 98, then target was 100, and then finally it break 512. That's when you get out. It's your initial warning, and then it broke the flag all day, faded. I think many people were short on the coin later in the day because it broke the bear flags all the way down. So good trade. Could have traded both ways as well, using the 100 psych resistance, a C minus short, but you have a clear level to risk at 100 bucks, you know, that you could have shorted it. So beautiful trade on coin. I missed the short side, but that's fine. You know, I try to avoid B minus setups, but it turned into a B plus setup when it faded from 94 to 91, you know. So a lot of opportunities, especially in coin. So now guys, let's look at Tesla. So very proud of Tesla today, because no one in our community was buying the dips. No one was buying the dips, guys. And I said, the first thing I said when I saw the weakness, when the system was telling us not to buy, it's a short setup. That's what I told everyone first thing in the morning, you know, do not long, leave it alone. And even the members in community, they know that if it breaks 215, it's going to 211. And I'm proud of them, you know. Money very good, you know, he's learning, and even he knew. So you don't long Tesla. Breaking EMA clouds, breaking a bear flag at 10 a.m. Then it was all about having your targets. And I said nice short, and I did give the levels in the pre-market. Right, so what was the level in the pre-market? Let's look at it. So the level in the pre-market was 219.30 right here. That was your level. Next level was 217.64, and that gave up somewhere here. So all the levels bearish, right? And people were trading on their own. They didn't need me to tell them, right? Of course, I was giving the targets and all, but they didn't need that. So if you look at it, and maybe we can look at it like this way. So what I was saying, do not long, leave it alone. Short from pre-market, 215 breaks, goes way lower. And as it broke 215, I told everyone to move the stops to 215. Once it was fading, then 211 was our first target. And when the 211 targets hit, and I was saying move the stops to 213, and the next target was 210.42. So we were just moving the stops down, guys. Moving the stops down. And then even at 209, I said it's still heavy, still heavy. And boom, it broke down much further than that. 206 was ideally a gap fill level, almost touched it, not cleanly, but went close. So that was, and then some buyer came in at 207 and it was bouncing, and I even talked about the B minus bounce setup for a scalp. Low probability, 1 2 3 bounces, and you can scalp some from 208, risk $1, make $1 2 or something, and just go away, right? So as you see, guys, timestamp comments on Tesla, no hindsight. If you cannot make money on the moves like this, Disney firm, Tesla like this, on even in this commentary or even my teachings, then something is wrong with your entry and exits. Something is wrong with your priorities or your thinking or mentality. You need to change it, and we do it every day. We have losers too, but the winners wipe all the losers off, right? So see, beautiful, beautiful Tesla, all day trend, no reason to cut. The EMA Clouds held all the way, guys. EMA Clouds ride all the way. All right, next one. So guys, let's talk about NVDA and other semiconductors today. So as soon as the market opened, I was talking about NVIDIA news because it's releasing new chips from China. It's releasing new chips to China. So today when market opened, I was on top of NVIDIA, and because of that news, and I said semiconductor is on a high watch, right? So the point is, guys, you need to know what is going to move and why is it probability of moving, and you be ready for that. We were ready for the Bitcoin movers because of the pre-market prep. Not randomly waking up. If I woke up at 9:30, I wouldn't have known, to long semiconductors or coin. Never. You have to be on top of it. Wake up early. Have your pre-market plan. Then only you can succeed. All right. So NVIDIA's SMCI was on our watch. We were watching all the levels and bullish buys. I had given the levels in the pre-market, and we were trying to range break over 472. So that was your hard stops. Range break here, 472 was the hard stops. So I gave the stops, 472. And then SMCI was the sympathy trade. So SMCI was a sympathy trade, and to trade, nice move as well. And then we saw some call flow as well. And we talk about, so 480 was my initial target. And then 480 calls flow came in. And then end of the day, we did meet our 480 target. And then when it started to break it, it's time to take the final profits, right? So, when this break, ideally you are out, and this is a fake out, lower high, and this time you are completely out. You don't care. And then even in the community, people shorted it as well, under clouds, under the Ripster clouds. Beautiful, beautiful under Ripster clouds, and fade back down. Push up, fade back down. Push up, fade back down. EMA Clouds up, EMA Clouds down. When 3450 breaks, it tells you it's going down, right? So guys, very proud of this one as well. Reason I say this is because even I'm improving because I'm missing less trades. I missed some trades someday. I just kick myself that I did not do a good prep. Today I'm proud that I did a good prep. I was on top of all the news. I was on top of Bitcoin news. I was on top of the semiconductor movers. Next one. So Roblox, guys, was on our watch as a day 2 setup. So Roblox was on a watch as a day 2 setup. Under 3890 is the gap fill. What did I say? Under 3890 is the gap fill. In the gap, avoid longs. Unless gets over the cloud, stay short. $1 short, 38.90 to 37.90. Then lower highs, still under the clouds, 37.30. Right? So if you're short at 38.90, right? Or at 38.70, 38.60, doesn't matter. You're risking 40-50 cents, and then you made $1.30, means you made 2 times your reward, right? So yeah, so Roblox, beautiful trade as well in the community. And you can see, guys, they were like, the folks in the, they are trading it, they take the idea, they are trading the Roblox. So it's all about, I'm not trading everything.
TCON.
I make my main trades, make good money, but then, the guiding the community. So as people are executing, people are improving. And just like people were not buying Tesla in our community, nobody was touching Tesla, everybody was short. So that's the beauty. Let's look at IWM, guys. So IWM, if you see it, I gave a level of 175 as a support pivot. It broke here under EMA Clouds. So you take the short, stops can be this pre-market high or high of the day, and then you short it and you see nice bear flag breakdown, further breakdown. I posted on Twitter, and then again the range breakdown. You see, learn these patterns. Again the range broke down and all that way short to 167 from 170.50, guys. Such a beautiful execution and the trade on IWM. Recently we started to include IWM in our analysis because a lot of people trade it. And remember, when yields are high, interest rates are high, IWM gets kicked. Why? Because IWM is the growth stocks, it's a mid-cap stocks which impacted when the yields and interests are high. Their power of borrowing money gets tough, and that's why they get hit like this. So app was on the plan in the pre-market. The plan was, it was already giving up under the clouds. So you already know that something is wrong, right? I am saying giving up under the clouds. If it breaks under 45, gap fill. If 45 here holds, it will hold. It breaks 45, guess what? Fades to 37. 37 as the pre-market plans, guys. So how much did it fade? Even if you chase 44 and put the stops here, proper risk reward, then you still made $7 short, right? I was busy with other trades, but I know when people did good with that APP idea. So let's look at the next one. So LYFT was on my watch in the pre-market, but did not end up doing anything because it was amateur move, and then when this second candle made higher highs, pushed over EMA Clouds, that's a no-go, because the reason being, you want to see a lower high. So that's why. So this idea is a void or a fail idea. Even it faded, so that's what I said, right? Bearish bias on the pops, but the 10 is the support. So the problem was to short over 10 was risky because 10 buyers will come in. And when it popped over EMA Clouds, I didn't want to short it over the EMA Cloud according to my system. Yes, I could have shorted it here, but I didn't see it then. But this was the plan, and on the LYFT. So let's call it void or a failed plan. So bill, guys, there was a plan that I'm going to buy the bill versus 50. So my bias was neutral. I was looking to buy versus 50 because I knew the news is saying that they're buying another company. And I knew if they came back and they said they are not buying any company, it's going to push. And that's what happened. I must miss the news quickly, but people in the community were able to get in and chase it as soon as it pushed high. I did trade it afterwards, after when it was unhalted and bounces over 34.50. I did scalp some from 56s to 58s, just little scalp. So, but this was the plan on bill. Just wanted to show you, we're still on the top of it. So, okay, let's look at the next one. So AMC, guys, the plan was to pop bearish bias to short on the big pops. I actually wanted a little bit higher pop. I didn't get it, and maybe because other plays were working good. I personally did not execute it. I could have shorted if I saw the pop to 940 and then shorted, but I guess this too big of a fade pre-market spoiled the setup. But as you know, bearish bias on the pops, that was the plan. The plan kind of worked out, but I don't think we could have had a good entry. And especially look at this 10 a.m. fades, 10 a.m. fades. So you just had to time a good entry here. So AMC was a void. Let's look at SPY QQ. So guys, SPY QQQ was today. On SPY QQQ, the plan was at the open, the SPY QQQ was weak. Both were weak. So the both were weak, and then they bounced on the pre-market lows. The same concepts we talk about every time. They bounced on pre-market lows. So we didn't do much. I personally didn't do much, right? But it was this pre-market lows which was kind of key. And but then when it broke again, if it broke at 107, when I said has room to lows, if you know my wick strategy, and then this is where I was like, you can scalp it short, and you can see as VIX pushed at 1 a.m. over 14.15, it faded all day, right? So was scalp in the community. Jai was on the top of it talking about, we always keep track of what institution is doing. If it's selling calls, we fade. If they're selling puts, we bounce. So it was pretty clear that the trend was what we were able to manage our risk when the SPY faded on our trades like NVDA, or or we short, because when this was happening, it was easier to short something like RBLX or Coin or NVDA or SMCI in this move. So we stay on the top of the market so that we can do what we can trade and manage our marketplace. DUOL was strong even though market was fading. And when this was happening, NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, you can see they were all doing the same thing, and you could have shorted them. But it was good. It was good guidance. We're top of everything. Let's see what will happen tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow, this is a really bad rejection. If it stays under this 438, under 433, we fill the gap. So there's a gap down here for tomorrow that we will watch. Friday Lotos, if it breaks this gap, we'll take a short, fill the gap to 430. Hopefully it doesn't gap down, and then it'll be a good Lotto Friday, guys. All right, if you want to look at ES and SQ, yeah, if I look at ES and SQ, yeah, I mean it's a pullback. Nasdaq can bounce. SPY, ES futures, some support at 4343. So this is key. If this breaks, then we go into the gap, guys. So we have to watch this. Trying to hold it. Maybe it holds this level. Who knows? But we'll be on top of it anyways. All right, guys. Thank you. And again, if you want to join the community, trade with us. Come for guidance. Come for learning. Do not come for alerts. We kill it every day. Winners or losers. Everything is a teaching. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.